Hey YouTube, what's going on, guys? So today I've got a viewer question that I'm going to be answering. Pull it up here. Going to keep the person anonymous. And the question goes like this. After searching on inns for weeks, I'm extremely hard pressed to find a truck camper for a half ton that is more than just a couch and a small fridge. So I've decided to start looking into a 3/4 ton or even a 1 ton truck. I'm looking at getting a truck camper like yours, something that works, but not something extremely flashy and expensive like a Lance. Would you recommend me going to a 3/4 ton or going straight to a 1 ton? I've noticed there isn't a huge price difference between the two, and I wanted to ask you how you liked your truck camper and if you would recommend it. I'm most likely going to be living in a Lance camper with my long-term girlfriend. Do you think a camper like yours would work for two people? Or should I go with something a bit bigger? Okay, that's a great question. So let's break it down. There are a few questions in your question. So, to answer your question, I'm going to take everything into account. So, it sounds like it's going to be two people, yourself and your girlfriend. So, the first thought that comes to my mind, if you want to do truck campers, is holding tanks. So holding tank capacities. The holding tank capacity on this Northern Light truck camper is only 18 gallons of black tank. It does have about a 40-gallon gray water tank, which is pretty huge, and it has a 36-gallon fresh water tank. So that would be the actual fresh water for that holding tank. So you're a little bit limited. The problem with truck campers is you are limited on your holding tank capacity, mostly the black tank. So there are some other ways around that, using it like a Blue Boy, to where a Blue Boy is basically it's a little tote around that it's got wheels on it, and when your black tank fills up, then you empty the black tank into that tote, and then you could wheel that over to the dump station or put it into a trailer, take it to the dump station, put it in the back of your truck and take it to the dump station. So if you're going to be, boondocking for longer periods of time, that is a system that works very, very well for a lot of people, and that is what I would do in those in that type of a situation. So holding tanks are really, in my opinion, the one drawback with a truck camper or any type of a smaller RV, a van, any self-contained vehicle with holding tanks. You're gonna, if you want to kind of stay at places for like a month at a time, you're probably going to have to dump your tanks. That's if there's no facilities on site that you can use. So for two people, that is the one concern, if we are talking about comparing a truck camper to another type of RV, such as a fifth wheel and trailers. They have large holding tank capacity, so that is something that you wanna keep in mind. My truck camper, being here parked at the RV park like I am, I have to dump my black tank about every week and a half. So that's just one person. So if you got two people, then you're gonna have to probably cut that figure in half, possibly. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind. The second thing that comes to my mind in your question is trucks. If you are wanting to live the full-time lifestyle in a truck camper, I would highly, highly suggest nothing less than a 1 ton truck, preferably a dually. If you really want to do this and you want to be serious about it, I would highly suggest a dually truck. A single rear wheel truck you could also do. Just depends on the weight of the camper that you want to get. But I really would push you more towards a dually truck, because just in the long run, you probably are going to be the most happy, and you will be not as limited with with a dually truck. You'll have better handling capability, better braking capability, which is a very, very big deal on these truck campers because they do get very heavy. And stopping and all of those things is a big issue, and you do get better stopping capability with a dually truck. So I do suggest stepping it up to the largest truck that you can afford. So if you are going to do similar to what I have done, which is use an older generation truck, an older generation truck from the late 90s, you can get into one of those trucks depending on where you live. In my area, anywhere between $10 and $12,000. You can, it's going to depend on a lot of variables, but those are just kind of a cost basis for a similar truck to what I have. It's gonna, you're gonna spend anywhere between $8,000 and $12,000. So I see. I've talked about the one going straight. You saying going straight to the 1 ton. So yes, I would suggest that you go straight to the 1 ton. If this is what you want to do and your vehicle, your RV of choice is a truck camper, then yes, go straight to a 1 ton truck and don't look back. And just because it's a 1 ton truck doesn't mean that you don't have to possibly modify some of the rear suspension to make your camper work with your truck. Like similar to what I've done, I've had to add the stable loads kit. I have airbags, I've got stable loads, and the truck camper that I have is considered light by truck camper standards. So you're going to have to also take that into consideration. Possibly, it'll be probably one of the three things, or all of the three things: a sway bar for the rear, torque lift stable loads, and also airbags. Or they have some other type of comparable things to airbags, but they aren't air. I forget. Timbren. I think Timbren is the name of the manufacturer that makes a product that's similar to airbags, but there isn't any air. They're basically like these rubber cushions that take the place of the airbags. And I've talked to some owners that have those, and they're very, very happy with them. So that's another thing. So those are the things that you may have to. You're going to have to seriously look at to modify your suspension. And that really goes for any truck that you choose. So as far as answering your question, do you think you should be, long-term with my long-term girlfriend? Do you think a camper like mine would work for two people? And that is a great question. And the first thought that comes to my mind is, before I bought this truck camper that I have, I was following a couple online called Rhino Albino. And they have a blog. It's sort of like a travel blog. They don't do any videos, but they have a travel blog, and I will post in links in the description to their blog. And I found it to be very helpful. So who is Rhino Albino? They are a couple living full-time in a 2011 Northern Light 10'2" truck camper, and they have documented their journey. And they actually had an interview featured on them, and I think it was Truck Camper Magazine, and they did a write-up on their story and making their change, and I highly recommend you checking that out. Actually, I did a video a long time ago, and I think I will probably link that video. Yes, I will. I will link that video in this description. I shared their that article that was talking about that couple. But they are living in the camper, and as far as I know, they're still doing it. They've been doing it since 2011, so going on 5 years, and so they it seems to be working for them. So that is one example that I know of a couple that is living full time in a truck camper that you could sort of model after, or you could research, ask them some questions. My take, if you were to ask me the question, could a couple work in a truck camper? My response to that is, well, that depends on you. That depends on the people. That depends on your personality. That's my first thought. So I don't personally think it's an issue other than the holding tanks issue, which I just spoke about, which is a potential issue that you really need to think through depending on the type of camping you want to do, how long you want to stay, if you're going to be hooked up most of the time, if you're going to be boondocking most of the time. You're going to have to probably, if it's going to be two people, you're going to probably want to think seriously about the holding tank issue being limited there with the black tank. So it's not really so much the gray tank, it's the black tank. So the black tanks are kind of small, and I've seen some of the Arctic Foxes and some of the Lances. I think I've seen like 25, 26 gallon sizes, so you can get a little bit larger, but not a whole lot. I mean, these fifth wheels and some of the travel trailers, they have black tank capacities that are 50 gallons, 60 gallons, and the toy haulers have even larger capacities. So, but yeah, to me, it really just depends on the person. It depends on you. It depends on your needs. It depends on how comfortable you are living together in that small of a place. I think that a good test for both of you would be to move into a closet for the weekend or for the week. And if you guys can both live in a small closet like that together and get along well and not want to kill one another, then a truck camper may be perfect for you. Another thing that I'll just say that comes to my mind is the dinette, the seating area in a truck camper. You are going to want to really look through a lot of different layouts, and I personally, because when it comes to eating, at least for me anyways, the dinette is a big deal for me, and the dinettes on most truck campers for me were total deal breakers. I found that the Northern Light had the best dinette layout and seating area for a couple of people. I mean, like in the camper I have, that's one of the highlights I think of mine is that two people can comfortably sit in the dinette and eat dinner, breakfast, whatever. Have a comfortable meal with plates and everything. There's enough space on the table to to make that comfortably work. But you can also modify the dinettes. You can they're very easy to change. You could replace this table with a larger table to accommodate your needs and what you like. So that's something else to keep in mind. But so yeah, what else can I say? Yeah, it's just going to depend on you as a couple and how you feel. But there are really a lot of advantages, in my humble opinion, with a truck camper over those travel trailers, over a fifth wheel. Just being able to not be, essentially married to the rig. If you want to upgrade your truck, downgrade your truck, it's easy to do. If you want to upgrade your camper, you want to downgrade your camper, it's very easy to do. That's not so easy to do with a lot of other, type of smaller RVs. So there is a lot of advantages, and as far as towing and stuff goes, if you want to tow a small trailer, you can also do that as well very easily. So I hope that answers your question, and please comment below if you have some other questions or you'd like me to talk about a few of other things. Thanks for watching, guys.